Tim, are we rolling?
Good evening. The regular city council meeting for October 20th, 2016 is called to order at 7:30 PM. Madam Clerk, the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
All right. Councilman Bodier. Councilman Benton.
Present.
Councilman Hewitt.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Wheeler.
Present.
Mayor Maselli.
Present.
Police Chief Walker. Fire Chief St. Cyr.
Present.
City Attorney Burris. City CPA Linda Lulu. And Nicole Lee, City Clerk.
I'd like to just make sure everyone knows that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'd like to remind all of our Harahan residents to go and get your mammograms. I'd also like to congratulate Darlene Schwartz and all our volunteers, all our reserve officers, the police chief, his team, the fire chief, all his firemen, for doing a great job of putting on one of the best nights out against crime the other night. I think everybody had a great time and showed a lot of community spirit. So I'd like to thank everybody's hard efforts. I'd also like to remind everyone that there is a presidential election coming November 8th, and remind everyone to go out and vote. Make sure you know where you go to vote, where your station is, okay? I'd also like to give notice at this time. I'm calling for a special meeting for Thursday, November 3rd, 2016 at 6:30 PM for the first reading of the proposed budget amendments for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2016, and for the mayor's proposed budget for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017. Since Ms. Lulu is not available for the regular November 17th meeting, I will also be calling a special meeting on November 10th at 5:30 in order for Ms. Lulu to be present to answer the questions pertaining to the budget. Mr. Burris, does this satisfy notice requirements? Just want to make sure.
I have one request, Mayor. I'm sorry.
Yes.
5:30 is a little hard to come by. Can we do it 6 and then do the regular meeting at 8?
Is that going to be no problem with advertisement?
November 10th wouldn't be a regular.
November
No.
10th.
Not regular meeting. I
Well,
understand.
We call
The-
for a special
The two
meeting.
special meetings, the
Right.
two on the same day. Can we have it 6 and we can have it 8?
There shouldn't be a problem with the advertisement, correct?
So we'll have 3 meetings in November?
Well, I would like to recommend that we move the regular, if the council would like, to move the regular city council meeting to November 10th so that we don't have 3 meetings.
Makes sense.
So, if it's okay, I'd like to take Councilman Johnston to move the November 10th meeting to 6.
So no, we can't. No, Mayor,
No.
excuse
No?
me.
November 3rd meeting.
In order to
Huh?
meet the budget law,
Yes.
we had to send to the Advocate today the official
So
journal.
it's already been published.
Well, it will be published on Monday to meet that 10-day.
So it has to start at 5:30.
It's actually the,
Yeah.
it's actually
In order
the
to
3rd
have it
with
on
the
the 3rd.
5:30.
In
huh?
order to
Not
have it
the-
on November 3rd.
Well, we're doing the November 3rd meeting to start at 6:30, the special meeting for the 2 proposed.
Okay, So that
But the
changed?
November 10th.
The
meeting-
email,
the
you- the
November
email you sent
3rd
us was November
It's
3rd
5:30.
was
Right.
5:30 and
So that-
7:30, and the 10th was at 6:30.
That can't change if you want to have the meeting November
So
3rd.
Then I
The
just
3rd
crossed
can't
off
change.
the wrong number, so it's 5:30 for,
5:30, because it's going to be advertised.
5:30
It can't
for
be
the-
advertised
for
any
the
later
3rd.
than Monday.
so
Okay.
5:30 for November
All right,
3rd.
we'll just have to deal then.
And
Okay.
7 days is enough layover time for a first reading and a vote?
Yes.
And I have another,
The 10th, that's what?
So now,
Six.
the 10th at
the
6:30.
special meeting will be Thursday, November 3rd, 2016, at 5:30 PM for the first reading of the proposed budget amendments for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2016, and for the mayor's proposed budget for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017. Okay, that's going to be the first reading. The second special meeting, the council would like, we can make at 6 o'clock. And also, instead of a special meeting, make that our regular November meeting.
On November the 10th.
Yes, on November 10th. Okay.
Well, the
So-
problem is, I have just same situation as I've always had with the budget meetings. I have a problem voting on stuff like that at special meetings. You know, that's my only issue. I know we want to change the regular meeting to that, but it's still going to be a special meeting.
But
You're not going to have
Linda-
the same turnout.
right,
You're not going to have the same
Linda-
people here listening to what we're doing. I understand she's not going to be here. I mean, I don't know how else to get by that, but that's,
And we're going to need to have Linda and Gilbert here, I believe, for that meeting. You know, our track record has been, unfortunately, to pass every budget so far
right.
on a
Well,
on a
the
special
third is mainly when we're going to be talking about everything, getting everything situated. So in actuality, I mean, do we
Well,
need
no,
them
the
here?
third-
Maybe just,
The third
Maybe
is.
just have the regular meeting, but if, we should be able to have all the information before that, is what I'm saying, so we can have it at the regular scheduled meeting.
No, we're going to need Linda at the meeting when we pass the budget for discussion and for detail.
That's why I'm confused at, because the third is when we're going over everything,
But
and,
do we amend it on the 3rd?
no, that's just first reading on the
It's,
3rd.
we're going to
So we
have the
amend on the
budget
10th.
meeting,
Oh, you can amend it
on
on the
the 3rd
17th, but
first.
she's not, they're not available on the 17th.
then a special meeting to follow in order to meet advertisement
Right.
requirements of the proposed two budget
right.
ordinances. So Ms. Lulu is not available, nor is Mr. Burris on the 17th.
Right, I understand that.
So we can have 3 meetings or 2.
Well, that's where we're getting confused, I think, a little bit. The third, and let me go back to this email just to make sure I'm reading correctly. The third is going to be going over the budget and also bringing it up for first reading.
Yes.
Yes.
So to vote on it, we should already have all the information. We should already have it all set,
At the
that we can
3rd.
just do it at the regular scheduled
I would-
meeting,
I would
rather
agree
than
with
have
that,
another
yeah.
special meeting.
We can't do that without Linda here. We can't do it. We need to have Linda and Mr. Burris here.
I won't be in town on
Right.
the 10th. I can participate by telephone.
Oh, wait, you're not here on the 10th or the 17th?
I'm not here on the 10th or the 17th.
But we have to
So we
have
need both
Ms.
of them
Burris.
here or one?
We have to have,
I think you absolutely have to have this.
you have to have Ms. Lulu here. So I'm calling for a special meeting then on November 10th
I need to
at
think
6
about the
PM.
Hmm?
In order
Need to
for Ms.
think about the
Lulu,
10th.
in order to be
Yeah.
present, to have the 2 proposed budget ordinances up for first reading to be on for vote on that day.
And that's all that the meeting's for?
Yes.
It's not the whole meeting, it's not gonna, okay. Not the
Unless the
regular.
council wants to change that.
Right now, I don't know. I mean, we'd have to discuss that. I don't know.
Mr. Burris, we would, if we wanted to change the November 10th meeting from a special meeting to a regular meeting, can we make that decision on the 3rd?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm asking you. But I'll get
That's what I would recommend.
So the 10th would just be the special meeting about the
you.
budget.
The meetings were all
Right.
set.
The 10th's not scheduled
All
at
the
this
regular
point.
Right,
meetings
we're gonna talk about it on the 3rd.
were at the beginning of the year.
What?
Weren't all the regular meetings set by ordinance at the beginning of the year? But
Right.
how about
They
the
weren't set.
schedule of
They're-
all the
they're-
regular
But I
meetings?
did check on this, you know, with my research.
Yeah, it seems like past couple
Change.
months, we've been changing the day a lot.
And
I think we already changed it twice within the past 3 months.
Right.
the law requires that you have
The
Right,
third
right.
Thursday
Third
at 7:30.
Thursday, right.
Well, but it does say that you can change it.
Of course.
You can change it,
As long as you have one a month.
so long as you have one a month.
Right.
Which means that, now, what's in front of you right now to change? The meeting would have been held, the regular meeting would have been on what?
17.
17.
November 17th. So now you've changed it to November 10th. That will be the regular meeting.
We
The
didn't
mayor's
change it.
requesting to do
She's
that.
putting out a special meeting right now.
You can do that either tonight or at the October 3rd.
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Third, right.
We can make that decision. Okay. Thank you very much.
Make sure it says that, you're changing the date of the regular meeting from what was previously scheduled to the new date. They
Correct.
call it a special meeting. So
Correct, you have to
Right.
change it
Right.
to,
Change the
to,
regular.
by title.
So on the third, we're gonna call for the 10th?
They're
So-
both special meetings.
We're sticking with the 10th also, the third
Yes.
and 10th. That's
Mhm.
what's up right now.
Yes.
Okay.
The 3rd has been called. We'll wait to November 3rd
For
to
the
call
10th.
the 10th.
No, I'm calling the 10th also.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
It's called.
You're
The
calling
notice
the
is given.
10th just for the two
Did we
ordinances,
just say we're going to call it on the 3rd?
not for the whole meeting, for the,
Uh-uh.
for the regular
No, the
meeting?
Do whatever.
decision-
Decision
Right.
has already been made.
The
There's,
decision as to whether that
everybody
will be a
available?
special and regular. That's the-
That's fine. Yeah.
okay. Okay. I was just giving the council the option
Oh, an
to not
option.
have a third meeting if they didn't want to. All right. Special presentations, Ms. Darlene Schwartz. I've asked to put Ms. Schwartz on our special presentations routinely because she's always keeping the community informed of all the events.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a few announcements, once again, for our citizens and general public coming up here in Harahan. Not to sound like I'm repeating myself, but I am repeating myself. This Saturday, and I'm gonna have to depend on the people in this room since this will not be broadcast in time for the event. For the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. I mentioned this at the last meeting, kind of went warp speed. This is so important. Please, to each of you that are out there, get rid of your drugs in the proper manner. Turn them in, no questions asked. Drop them in a plastic bag that goes into a cardboard box that we seal up and we turn over on a chain of custody to the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. It gets properly disposed of. Keep this stuff off the streets, keep pets from getting it, keep from polluting our water supply. To each of the council, the mayor, our chief of police, of course, I know promotes this, and Todd from the fire department, everybody, please participate and get rid of your drugs in the proper way. Again, that's going to be at Rite Aid Pharmacy, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the parking lot or the Harahan Police Department lobby, and that's this coming Saturday, the 22nd. Thank you for that. I was asked to advertise our 5th annual Jambalaya cook-off. Yummy, yummy. $10, guys. All the jambalaya you can eat. Now, come on. You know what I'm saying? Live band. It's a fun time. Hopefully the weather's not going to be as hot and humid as it has been. Please come out for this at the Harahan Playground. Great cause. It's going to benefit our playground over there. Good time, good food. We know how to party here in Harahan. And come out and participate. We don't care where you're from. Just come on down. And again, that's going to be the 29th of October, noon to 6 p.m. And if you want to participate, they're looking for cook-off teams, $100 entry fee. 4 members maximum per team. So we're going to look for you there on that. Next up, Christmas parade might sound early, but guess what, guys? We got, I think, one more regular council meeting before then. That's scary. December 17th. That's a Saturday. It's going to take the traditional route starting at noon over by Crescent Ford and go down the Folse. If you know people that want to parade, have participants, please start reaching out to them. This is a big event. It gets bigger every year. Let us know so we can start putting the list together for that. And of course, we got Halloween coming up the end of this month, the big block party over by West Imperial in that subdivision. It's always huge. It seems to grow each and every year more and more. Starts at dusk. Use common sense when crossing the streets and your kids running around. We usually wind up with a couple lost kids, and we're able to take care of them. But please keep an eye on your kids. It's a huge event, and it's easy to get lost in the shuffle. That's my spiel for the evening. Thank y'all very much, and we'll see you next meeting.
Thank you very much, Darlene. I'm going to ask now the Army Corps of Engineers to come up. Since we've had so many questions by our residents and many concerns, I thought it would be a good idea to invite the Army Corps, and they have been very willing to oblige. I'm going to let the gentlemen introduce themselves.
My name is David Alm. I'm a project manager with the Corps of Engineers.
And I'm Deron Delzy, project manager with the Corps of Engineers as well.
Thank you very much.
All right. We're going to walk you kind of through an overview of the Mississippi River and tributary system. We'll talk a little bit about the history, a little bit about the design, and then we'll kind of highlight our regulatory program.
And I'm going to cut you off. What's up there is going to be in this package?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. That way you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Need the lights on?
You want to click one of the lights or
Is that the lights that you made in there?
just front one, I think, yeah.
First one, here?
Thank you, Carrie.
Maybe not.
No?
There you go.
There we go.
Get the popcorn.
All right, so while the slides are coming up, just talk a little bit about the MR&T system. Dave and I are responsible for all the river levee construction within the New Orleans district. That represents about 517 miles or so along the Mississippi River. And it also includes a portion of includes all of the Atchafalaya, which is about 450 miles. You can go to the next slide. So what you see out here is a system that has been essentially under construction since the 1700s. Started by a lot of the local farmers. They built levees to help protect their crops and protect the properties. Right around 1844, you actually had a contiguous system in place where you had a line of levees that was there. But the Corps' role was primarily focused on navigation, making certain the river stayed navigable. And that was until Congress established the Mississippi River Commission in the 1879 timeframe, and the commission's responsibility was focused on flood control and maintaining navigation. All the commissioners appointed by the President of the United States. So in 1927, we had this epic flood. A lot of lives were lost. About 700,000 residents were impacted. So following this flood, much like in Katrina, Congress passed the Flood Control Act of 1928. And that really is the fundamental authorization that gets a lot of what the system that you see in place today. That was all based upon this authorization. We can go to the next slide. So the area that is drained by the Mississippi River, this is the third largest watershed in the world. And if General Walsh was here, he would say the third largest watershed. But it drains about 41% of the country. So 41% of the rainwater that's collected across the U.S. comes right here and passes right through the greater New Orleans area, right through Harahan, right through Jefferson Parish. So this represents a large area that we are draining. So we have a comprehensive system. We can go to the next slide, Dave. We came up with an extensive design that stretches all the way up to the Cairo, and we have different flow triggers that regulate the system. And our levee designs are all based upon that. And as I shared with you earlier, we have about 512 miles of river levee within the New Orleans district. But the entire system, there's about 3,700 miles of levees and floodwaters. So this is an extensive, comprehensive system. It's been one of the most successful civil works projects ever constructed in the world. Go back one more. Okay. So we've got a couple outlets here because we realize that a levee-only solution is not the answer. So part of it is managing the flow of the water. So you have levees in place, you have different outlets, you have Bird Point, New Madrid, that's kind of at the top left of the graph. And And then you also have the old river control structure, which regulates the flow of water between the Mississippi and the Atchafalaya. And then we have some outlets, which is the Morganza Spillway, and as you guys are probably familiar with, the Bonnie Carey Spillway. So once you reach certain flows to maintain safe passage through the greater New Orleans area, you're able to operate those structures. Go to the next slide. So the Bonnie Carey Spillway, what it does, it takes water from the Mississippi River and diverts it through Lake Pontchartrain, so that way we can pass a safe elevation below the spillway. Go to the next one. So we've got this extensive system that's in place that we've been really working on for hundreds of years. And as I mentioned to you earlier, it provides an amazing benefit to the nation. So much that when we have an event, we pass it pretty much without incident. A lot of folks don't even realize it, that in 2011, we had one of the largest floods on record along the Mississippi River. And unless you were sitting at Cafe Du Monde and happened to look at the steamboats going by and wonder why they're higher than the building, you wouldn't have really realized it. So in 2011, again, we passed one of the largest floods on record. We prevented over $230 billion in damages across the entire project. And in Louisiana alone, it's $173 billion. So the system has successfully conveyed the project flood. Although we're still constructing it, we are able to successfully convey the project flood. Here's the Morganza control structure. We've only operated that twice since its construction. We operated it during the 2011 event, and that's to divert water just south of the Old River control structure. And the next slide shows the Bonnie Carey Spillway. To the left side of the graph is the Mississippi River, and as you can see, the water's flowing out toward Lake Pontchartrain. So just to give you a little quick overview on the design of the system. We have a lot of levees through this area. The levees are designed consistently throughout the entire system. We designed them to be resilient. We're designed them to make certain that it can contain the flows of the river. We have strict design criteria. We do geotechnical analysis. We make certain that there's certain vegetation coverage. We make certain that there's vegetation-free zones, because we've learned that root systems can impact the integrity of the levee. One thing to point out about this system, when you get into the operation and maintenance, this is one of the few systems that the Corps is responsible for major maintenance and major operation. The local levee districts are responsible for minor maintenance. That's repairing ruts, making certain they patrol the levees, grass cutting. But major maintenance falls under responsibility of the Corps of Engineers. Go ahead. So you have this system in place. We've designed it. The Corps is engaged in the operation of it in concert with the state and the local levee districts. But the Corps also has what we call a levee safety program. Because it's great to build a system, but we've got to make certain it works. We've got to make certain as things develop around the system that it doesn't have a negative impact of it. So levees and your flood walls, they're vital to making certain we buy down the risk of flooding. And operation and maintenance is a critical component of that. Again, safety is our #1 goal. We want to make certain that we have a safe system in place and that we're protecting the residents. So how do we do that? We conduct periodic inspections. We do levee safety evaluations. We're constantly monitoring the system. During the 2011 event, or during just a regular flood event, we have certain triggers where we, in concert with the levee district, we do a daily monitoring of the system, looking for seepage, looking for issues on the Batcher side, just constantly flood fighting during certain river stages, just to make certain that we can address any issues before they happen. Go to the next one. So, and as a part of our the safety and ensuring the safety of the system, we also have what we call the regulatory arm of the Corps of Engineers, and that kind of falls into two different categories. You have your traditional regulatory, I'll call it traditional for lack of a better term, but that covers what we call Section 10 and Section 404. And the Section 10 part deals with the navigable waterways. Section 404 deals with the wetland impacts. So if you're going to build a project that's near a navigable waterway or that will potentially have an impact into wetlands, you have to submit an application to the Corps of Engineers. We evaluate that application to make certain you don't have a detrimental impact to navigation or the wetlands. There's also Section 408, and some of you guys may be familiar with that, but what that does is, and we'll focus specifically on the MR&T system, so any activity in the vicinity of the levee, you have to submit a Section 408 permit to make certain that your action does not negatively or adversely impact the integrity of the levee. So what instances would that be? That would be in the instance of doing ramps across the levee. Or if you're going to do a facility on the flood side of the levee, we have to evaluate that permit that's submitted by the applicant to make certain that that action does not adversely impact the levees. And it's important to note that if you apply for a Section 408 permit, you must have that 408 permit approved prior to receiving your Section 10 or 404. So these all work in tandem, and as it relates to a federally constructed flood risk reduction project, 408 is there to ensure that the actions don't negatively impact it. Last thing you want to do is build a beautiful levee and then have somebody go in and notch out part of the levee and put a beautiful swimming pool. The pool is nice, but you risk the system of potentially failing. So we talk a lot about buying down risk. We talk a lot about safety. The one thing I'd like to share and really stress is that this isn't a Corps of Engineers solely mission to buy down risk and to make certain that we're trying to keep the residents safe. It's a combined effort. Everyone has a role in it. When we talk about inspections, the levee district is engaged, the Corps of Engineers is engaged, but also we rely on citizens. During flood fight events, we receive calls that, hey, we have a wet spot near the levee. Our team will come out and evaluate it. So it's a combined effort. Everyone has a role in it. Everyone has a part. When you look at buying down the risk, you start with initial risk. How do you buy down that risk? Flood insurance, evacuation plans, communicating, just reaching out to your citizens. And then if you notice, levees and flood walls is at the bottom of that list, because all of those other actions really tie in and underpin the importance of having those levee systems there. You can have a levee system, but without evacuation, without communicating, without flood insurance, you're putting a greater risk of that system not performing potentially. So it's a shared responsibility, and I know that this city has been greatly involved in a lot of our efforts. We do have the Jefferson Heights project that has recently been under construction in this area, and that's what we've done, an enlargement to make certain that we're up to the proper elevation for the Mississippi River levee system. That project is substantially in place. We've got pretty much punch list items that we're working on to wrap everything up on that. And that further buys down your risk. We do appreciate your patience. I know some of you guys were avid bikers, and the bike path has been closed, but hopefully we'll be open soon and things can resume. But that's a shared responsibility. Everybody, you guys were patient with us as we were able to get that construction lift in place. At this time, I think that concludes all of my slides. We have some contact numbers. If you see anything that's of concern, or if you have any questions, you definitely can reach out to our Public Affairs Office. You can reach out to East Jeff Levee District. They have patrol that's available. And you can also reach out to myself and Dave. We've got our phone numbers up there if you have any concerns or you see anything that needs to be evaluated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, very thorough. I have a few questions. We have the Pump to the River project that's currently going on. 5 different contractors are working on 5 different projects.
Right.
And we're nearing completion. I've always said either the end of this year, first quarter of 17. Is that correct?
Yes.
I've talked to the Army Corps in a meeting. They've been very cooperative. I've asked that they help the city by giving us notice of completion as each project gets done, so that we'll be able to inform our citizens and move forward. There's been a lot of concern in the city on a couple of levels a frequent question that gets asked is about the integrity of the levee system here in Harahan. And I was wondering if you gentlemen could just address that particular
Well, I
question.
think as Duran had just spoke throughout his presentation, we just completed. Yeah. We just completed the majority of the work, and we lifted that project. We lifted the levee about 1 foot to 2 feet, depending on where you are in the system. It's substantially complete. Like Duran said, the minor punch list items are just, you know, establishing turf, maybe some touch-up work on the trail, the asphalt path on top that's been damaged. We still have to remove a few trees that are left, but other than that, that project is as safe as it's ever been.
How often do the levees get inspected? Is there
We have periodic inspections, annual inspections, so we have, and basically daily inspections. The East Jeff Levee District patrols daily, and the public patrols daily. We get calls constantly from the public. So, you know, officially, our periodic inspections and annual inspections, they usually happen in the spring and fall. So I think we're about to start our annual inspections now.
a lot of concern get raised when there seems to be some visible water or seepage.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that? Because sometimes it is
Yeah,
a normal
we-
event, correct?
Right, it is normal. We do have seepage up and down the levee all, you know, all 512 miles. We have ways to mitigate that. We can install relief wells. A lot of times it's just nuisance seepage, so what we call it. We log it into our levee safety database. We monitor it. So during our annual inspections, we have each and every point, that historical seepage spots that we continuously monitor. So those are, you know, typical things that do happen along the levee. The recent ones, I think that people have called about on Harahan, that just turned out to be a broken water line. It was repaired and it should be all good.
And Dave, I'll also add, if you notice on this picture here, you see how the river kind of makes a bend.
Mhm.
Right? So we've built levees to kind of keep the river in place. So over time, though, prior to having those levees there, the river would kind of meander back and forth, and as it meandered back and forth, you build up a sand layer. So a lot of what you see is water kind of, as the river stages come up, water kind of comes through those sand layers, and we are aware of that. We do not only a monitoring during the high river periods, our geotechnical branch, which is kind of really addresses the seepage, they do a constant monitoring up and down the river once a year, where they do detailed analysis, and they're able to kind of understand where these areas are. As a part of our levee lift job, we went in and did a seepage evaluation. So any seepage concerns within that Jefferson Heights, which is the name of the project, within the Jefferson Heights reach, we did address any of those areas that rose to significant concern. So.
Can you also speak to what trees do to the levee? And after Katrina, I believe there's a concerted effort to remove any trees that might
Right.
be
The Corps,
close or on the levee.
the Corps has a nationwide vegetation policy, which is basically we have a vegetation-free zone. And I think if I can flip back to,
So these are like federal regulations.
yes. So if you see that photo on the top left, there's a imaginary line, basically. It's 15 feet from the toe of the levee on each side, and then there's a crown height as well. So if a tree is outside of that 15-foot zone, but the crown of the tree is interfering with the maintenance operations, and it's below 8 feet, that needs to be removed as well. But yeah, we have strict policy. It's Corps-wide, and it's 15 feet from the toe of the levee or the right-of-way zone, whichever is closer. So in this case, you know, along the Harahan levees, there's a lot of homes that are backed up right on the toe, so we can only go to the toe of that levee.
And the trees can cause a problem because it can cause erosion of the levee.
Well,
Right.
it's more of if a tree, you know, say we have a period of rain and we have high river, have a little storm come through, the tree could actually topple over, pull out a huge, you know, the root ball will basically be removed, and you'll have a cavity in the levee, which could, if we do have seepage issues, it could cause a serious erosion problem and allow that path, that seepage path, to get worse. So we basically try and keep the levee vegetation free.
The Corps is also in charge of the permitting process. The permitting process gets quite convoluted of anything that is near or behind the levee, correct?
Correct.
That's been of great concern to our residents about how permits are decided to be given, issued, especially in a community where there is industry abutting residential. If you could just give us a brief understanding of how those permits work and
Yeah, I
and
think
what say the little city of Harahan has in those permits.
I think Duran actually touched on it during the presentation, but we have a typical regulatory department where we basically review any actions that are going to impact navigation or have environmental impacts. We do coordinate with multiple agencies: EPA, Department of Natural Resources, DEQ, Wildlife and Fisheries, sometimes the Coast Guard.
I got tired of counting. How many
Everybody,
agencies.
they all have a say in this, and if each one of their departments finds that it's going to violate one of their regulations and law, we can't issue that permit. And Duran touched again on anything, the other 408 piece is if it's going to damage or impact levee safety, it will not be allowed on that levee. So, for instance, somebody wants to put a new water line through the levee. They can't just go put it wherever they want. There's strict regulations on how they install that water line or a pipeline or any other type of, penetration to the levee. So those type of impacts, they go through our regulatory department and our operations department, inspection and completed works. We review it. It's a rigorous review process, and ultimately, if it is approved, we'll issue a letter of no objection. Then the East Jefferson Levee District will actually issue that permit and be the enforcer of the permit.
And just to kind of clarify, I know we often get asked questions on permitting, all right? So when we get a permit in, specifically your 408 permits, we're evaluating it solely on the impact to that flood control system or that flood risk reduction system that's in place. So that's what we're primarily looking at. We want to ensure the integrity of that levee is maintained when we get a 408 permit. Now, our section 10 and 404 permits, we're looking at impacts to navigation, impacts to wetlands, and you do have agency input, but that's kind of the focus of that permit. It's important also to note that as a part of the 408 process, if you're putting a facility that's crossing the levee or on the flood side of the levee district is ultimately the issuer of that permit. It is reviewed in concert with the Corps of Engineers. So it's a combined effort when these permits are issued out. But it's evaluated solely on the purpose of, for 408, looking at the flood risk reduction system, and then for section 10 and 404, looking at impacts to navigation and wetlands.
What about the environmental impact to not only the levee and the area behind the levee, but what about to the communities nearby?
Typically there is an environmental analysis, and as a part of your environmental analysis, you look at all impacts, okay? Impacts to the surrounding community, impacts to the overall environment, your method of construction, all of that is taken into consideration as a part of that.
When someone applies for a permit or an expansion of a permit, how is the municipality or the parish or the local entity informed?
Well, there's typically a public notice process, okay? And as a part of that public notice process, that's how one way we engage the other agencies, DEQ, other state agencies, Fish and Wildlife, but it also is a public notice that will go out for citizens to make comments during that time frame as well. So
I'm just trying to, what role can Harahan ever play if it's got a concern about a permit that's,
Well,
Being
once that public notice is issued, they allow public comments. And that's kind of the forum to, where we solicit input of views.
but that's about the,
Correct. Yeah, that's one way. Again, you've had regular dialogue with the Corps. You can inquire, I guess, about permits that are out there.
Right.
But through the public notice process and kind of.
but we don't have per se any input or control of, other than being heard.
Correct, because all comments are taken into consideration, so, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to, just trying to understand our role and so that we can do our due diligence in certain issues. Anybody have any questions for the Corps? No? Thank you.
What about the audience? I have a comment and question.
Well, it's usually during special presentations, not to be disrespectful, we try and do that. Would you gentlemen stay, maybe just a,
It's up to your
Yeah.
discretion.
It's a special presentation to you guys and not us, I think. But I'll talk to them after.
I'm just, if we open it up to everyone, it might go, if you can do it during address the council, if you can ask, if you want to ask during address the council, we can see if they can stay, and we can ask them to come back up and to, you sure? Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you
All right,
very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you. All right. We will now address the council. If anyone would like to address the council, please come up to the podium to your right, state your name and address. You have a 3-minute time limit. We ask you to just, as always, be courteous. So, and if you give me a moment, I'll get our little timer on for everybody.
My name is John Ream. I live at 3 Ren Pass.
Pull the microphone to you.
Oops, thank you. Tim. And I have a question for the Corps, and it deals with the New Hall Road. And I talked to David Alm just before we started, but this is not his area, so I'll proceed on. But with this permit request for them to build a Hall Road, $1 million project, I still don't see any big hoopla about it, you know? And this is in Harahan, and I think this should be a big thing. The U.S. Corps of Engineers issues a statement to the East Jefferson Levee District, which then incorporates this into a permit for wood materials. And you just heard that there should be some public notification that people can address this. And I've never seen anything, I've never heard anything. It states, the Army Corps' letter states, this letter of no objection does not obviate the applicant's requirements to obtain federal, state, and local permits required by law. So that means that they should not give him or allow the East Jefferson Levee District to give him a permit, give Wood Materials a permit that violates Harahan City's laws. Also, I believe
God
that
bless.
the current permit is illegal because it violates Harahan City law. Because there's no manufacturing supposed to be done on the batcher. And in his permit, he says that he's composting back there against Harahan's Ordinance 1333, no manufacturing. If the company violates Harahan's ordinances, this permit cannot be issued. The mayor and the city council need to contact the Corps of Engineers and the East Jefferson Levee District to stop this permit, the new permit coming, and also to tell them that the permit they have now is voided. And immediately, Wood Materials should be shut down. This is the only thing they understand. They're a big bully behind the levee. They need to be shut down until they can write a new permit to abide by the laws of Harahan. Too long this has been going on. Too long Harahan has been putting up with this mess. And Wood Materials did not even show up here tonight. Where they at? His attorney comes. The attorney comes. I wish my attorney could come. I don't have one. You know, so we need an attorney. We need Harahan to stand up to this. We don't need an attorney. We need Harahan to stand up. We need to void this contract. All the agencies that give permits to Wood Materials, can I give just one more minute?
A motion for one more minute.
Okay. All the
Do I
agencies
have
that.
a second? I have a second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. You got a minute.
Okay, thank you. All the agencies that give permits to Wood Materials need to meet together with the Harahan City officials, all the Harahan City officials, the reasonable measures to control dust and noise effects from sand pit operations needs to be incorporated into every permit. This needs to be something that Harahan needs to be the vanguard. They need to be out in the front. This is Harahan that's getting trashed with the sand, the dust, the noise, the odors. Something needs to be done. The nighttime operations are way above the limit of 60 dB at night and 70 in the daytime. That's the maximum instantaneous. That's instantaneous. They have 85 back in the pit, back in the industrial area, but it cannot go over the residential area. When it comes into the residential area, it can't be over that limit. The 10% levels are at 55 dB and 60 dB. 60 dB in the daytime, 55 at night, and that's at 10%. That's over a 10-minute period. So if it goes over that much at a 10% of that, 1 minute in that 10-minute period, then that's a violation. And this should be cited for that. So tonight, they're out there right now. Just go out the door. You can hear them. Beep, 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 and honk, honk, and out there. So
Thank you very much.
Hello, Jason Brusick, 7208 Stoneleigh. I'm here because I sent an email to this entire council earlier today talking about speeding cameras on River Road. I've got 2 kids, and my little girl decided she was going to go out and follow Mama while she was putting out the trash one night and almost got hit by a car doing about 50 miles an hour down River Road. I am not okay with that anymore. I'm really not okay with it. And it upsets me when I send out this email to everybody and I actually include an attachment and I get one response back from Ms. Benton wherein all she responds is she's afraid of lawsuits. She's afraid of lawsuits. And it shocked me that somebody would be so afraid of a simple filing of paper that they're not going to do the right thing, which is to stop these people running up and down River Road and using it as a freeway to get to the airport or to New Orleans. These people are going really fast. I don't know if any of you guys live on that road, but I do, and I see it every day. Every day. And I'm sorry. The police are wonderful. I go out, I bring coffee to you guys. Tim, they're good people, but they can't be there 24/7. They can't catch these guys. And we need to put something out there. And if you are afraid of lawsuits, I attached the lawsuit from Jefferson Parish, the one against Gretna. I attached it so you can read it. And Gilbert Burris, I've worked with him before. He can simply follow that like a roadmap for how to do it right. I gave it to you. There's no reason to be afraid of lawsuits. No reason. And my little girl and my son, she's 2, and he's 4. He's a climber. I promise. He's going to get out of that my yard at some point. Going to happen. Do the right thing. Put those things up. Figure out a way. You've had months to figure this out. Months. And what do we got? Nothing. Nothing at all. and I'm getting upset with it. I'm sorry, which is why I actually came here, rather than spend time with my family, so I could tell you guys about this. Because I'm sorry, when I get only one response, and it's from somebody who's simply afraid, that's unacceptable. There's no reason to fear. Put the liability on the company. It's called an indemnification clause. He knows about them. He can help. I promise. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tommy Buddy, 7208 Stoneley Drive, and I'm here to talk in support of the proposed ordinance 2016-20, I think it is, to do something about the speeding issue on Riverside Drive. My house backs up to Riverside Drive, but by ordinance, by zoning, that's my front street. I can't build, I have to stay 20 feet off. It's a residential street. It's a 20-mile-an-hour speed zone. And I applaud all the efforts of the police department. And if we had the manpower, it could be controlled and it could be done with police force only. But the reality is, with the limitations that Tim has in his department, limited human resources, we need a plan B. Now, I want to thank Councilman Hewitt for taking the leadership role in looking into speeding cameras. I'm the last person in the world that wants more regulation, more police actions. But I haven't heard a plan to address this issue otherwise. If there is a plan, let's do it. This is we talk about quality of life, and everybody here is very concerned about the quality of life in Harahan. And in quality of life issues, there's nothing more prominent than safety of the citizens. And this is absolutely a safety issue. I'm in the Bend. When I back out, I fear for my life, because if somebody is coming at 60 miles an hour, they're going to hit me. And they do travel at 60 miles an hour and faster at all hours of the day. I hear it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I see it when I'm up and out. It's a safety, it's a terribly dangerous situation. We've got an opportunity to do something about it. This would be a supplement to our fine police department. It will generate revenue. West Wego does it on River Road. They do it quite successfully. So I'm going to ask you guys, please, look at this proposed ordinance and support it. And if you have a better plan, I'd like to hear it, and I'd like to see it implemented. But I can't see any reason not to do this. It's a relatively simple fix. Some municipalities and parishes have had problems with it. Some have done it with no problem. All we need to do is follow the model of the parishes and the municipalities that have been successful. And I'm quite confident that this team of professionals here that represent us can do it, and can do it right, can help fix the problem, generate some much-needed revenue, dedicate that revenue to police and fire, to public safety, and so it's a win-win. So again, I want to thank Councilman Hewitt for taking the initiative and leadership to put this ordinance forward. I hope everybody here, including the administration, can find fit to support it. And I'll say to Councilman Benton, if you have a better plan, please tell us what it is. And I don't mean that, I'm not being sarcastic. Address the issue in a manner to where we can get some positive results. We just want something done. And we need you guys to do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I start, I'd just like to say that I sent out questions to everybody. Maybe some of y'all did not see our questions that we wanted to ask the Corps of Engineers, so maybe you missed my email. But I would like to thank you, Mayor Maselli, that you did ask some questions. So I do thank you for that, because this is very, very important to us. We're getting tired of coming over here. We have other things that we can do. We've not missed one meeting for about a year and a half. Not one meeting. Haven't been on vacation or anything. Come and talk about the same thing. We went to levy board meeting today. They talk to you. Y'all don't talk. So it's very discouraging. On October 14th, 2016, at 12 a.m., Harahan residents called Harahan Police and called us. Harahan Police came out and went on the Batcher. We spoke to Harahan Police, and they said they were loud. 2 other Harahan Police joined, And as we were speaking, the East Jefferson Levy Board Police came. The East Jefferson Levy Board Police said that Wood Materials has a permit from the feds, and they can run night work. We asked East Jefferson Levy Police if he saw a copy of that permit, and he said no. We asked where could we get a copy of that permit. He said he didn't know. He said also tell the residents to stop calling the police because they have a permit and there's nothing the police can do. We attended the East Jefferson Levy District today for like 5-hour deal meeting today in Joe Yenning building. And we spoke for 5 minutes and showed 400 collected signatures and found out Wood Materials does not have a permit to run all night long. No permit is issued to run all night disturbing the peace. East Jefferson police do not tell the truth. But they are the ones who see all this every single day and have it all over their vehicles. I'm sorry. Harahan Council had first meeting last month on hours of operation. We asked for a special meeting the next week to get hours of operation passed. But hours before coming to the meeting, Attorney Gilbert Burris said it had to go to the regulatory. It's been to the regulatory board members already, with residents in Piercewood and Harahan. The regulatory is fully aware about the night noise and the hours of operation from Sue Benton's hours until November hours of operation. Waiting on the regulatory is only a stall that will delay a vote until the November meeting. Residents need the noise to stop now. Each night, it is very loud all throughout the night. Residents should not have to listen to this. Residents cannot stay up till 10 o'clock at night, wait for the police to calm down, to come out, and then try to calm down and go to sleep so they can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Wood Materials cannot sue Harahan, as they stated they would at the last meeting if they were restricting hours of operation. They are breaking the law, and they do not have a permit to run all-night work. We are aware that monitoring was done different times. I'm asking for an extension, please.
A motion for 2 more minutes.
Second. I have
Thank
a
you.
motion for 2 more minutes by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor? Yay.
Thank you. We are aware that
I'm trying to cancel and it's not wanting to stop.
We are aware that monitoring was done different times of the day until about 9 p.m. because we saw Harahan code on the levee. But no monitoring was done when the noise is the loudest between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. Harahan mayor and council need to pass the law of operations on the Bachelor so that the residents can get a peaceful sleep. Wood Materials has 3 other yards to use. When DNR issued a cease dredging order on Wood Materials night operation, it stopped for 2 months. In a normal line for DNR, Wood Materials should have had to wait until November at the bottom. But when Wood Materials wants something to happen fast, like a permit to dredge 1.5 million cubic yards of sand, it happens fast. But when Wood Materials doesn't want something to happen, like moving the Hall Road, it doesn't happen fast. It takes from January 21st, 2016 to who knows when. We spoke to the Corps of Engineers last week. Wood Materials didn't get approved because they were missing some information on their application. We got that email within 2 hours, another email within 2 hours that said, oh, we completed his application. Now let's see, when will the Hall Road start? Maybe the Corps of Engineers can give us an answer to that question today, since we've been waiting since January 21st, 2016. There is no reason we should have to wait any longer for hours of operation to be addressed. It went to the regulatory board. They heard it. We were present. Wood was present. Sarah was present. Residents were present. We had a big old discussion. There wasn't even a police there. Nobody got in a fight. But it's already been addressed. If you want to hear it, go outside right now. It's pretty loud. But why don't you come spend the night at one of our houses on the River Road tonight? And why don't you listen to that sound all night long? We need a reading soon. And we need this hours of operation in place. But until then, we will make sure that we don't want any of our residents who have to go to work, because we don't have to not have to get up during the middle of the night. So we will do the job of calling the police every night to get them to come out here, because, you know, they don't have a permit to run all night now. We know that for sure. Thank you for listening to us.
My name is Jim Perrier. I'm a lifelong resident of Harahan. I live on Riverside Drive. And I'm a little embarrassed that quite frankly, I didn't know about the cameras on the ordinance until this morning. And so I want to thank you for bringing that up. Being a lifelong resident of River Road, I want to thank the police. They do an unbelievable job of patrolling River Road when they can. And when they are on River Road and doing their radar, people don't speed. And they won't speed for a little while, and they won't speed while they're concerned that they're going to get caught. And they'll do 20 miles an hour and maybe 25 miles an hour, but they're not going to go over 30. Very, very few. And even so, the police catch those people when they do. But they watch it and they do not speed. When we relax and the police department does not have the people to go on the road, they speed, and they were saying 60 miles an hour all of the time, during the day, in the middle of the night, all of the time. I believe Harahan is very lucky that we're dodging the bullet. I don't think, I've grown up on River Road. None of my children were killed, thank God. They've had to avoid getting hit by a car, but they haven't been killed. If we don't do something with the cameras, because we have the technology to do it, shame on us. That's all I'm going to say. We've got the technology, raises additional revenue, and you'll have a safe River Road, or a safer River Road. You still can't have everybody. So anyway, I want to thank you up front and make sure that y'all knew it is important to the city. I only knew about it this morning, that's why I'm here. How many people from River Road are here? Not many. They didn't know about it, I guess. That's on us. I should have known. If I would have known, I would have knocked on doors and got it. But I think that that's very important. Regarding the Batcher and the work that's going on back there, I cannot believe that we're allowing them to work at night, destroying our area, destroying our quality of life. You know, if my children had a party on a weekend and it came to 11:30 at night, the police would come down and stop them. Shut this down and go home. Yet honking, backing up, shovels all night long, we don't stop it. I don't understand. And that's all I have to say.
Lynn Roberts, live on Ferrara. I'm here to oppose the cameras because I believe traffic violations are a police matter. I don't believe it's a proper place for electronics to do this. I'm concerned about, in 2009, this came up, and if I remember right, there were many phone calls made. I read some of the articles this morning about it, and it sounds like there was a big backlash in Harahan on the cameras. I think that I am concerned about lawsuits. Okay, Gretna's got one. I realize this is not just, you're not just seeing these lawsuits in Louisiana, you're seeing them throughout the nation. There are some really legal concerns about this, and the last thing I want to do is see Harahan in a lawsuit for this. So I believe that if you do insist on doing this, bring it up to a public vote. Let the citizens decide. I think that it doesn't, I believe that the majority of the citizens, at least when I talk to my neighbors, they don't like the idea of electronic monitoring. Thank you.
My name is Laurie Dominguez, 953 Oak Avenue. I also have concerns about the cameras. The cameras, if they are installed, will pick up license plate numbers of speeding vehicles. The problem is that does not identify the speeder. Under our system, you are supposed to prosecute the offender. If someone borrows someone else's vehicle and their vehicle is caught speeding down River Road or wherever you put those cameras, the person driving does not get penalized. The owner of the vehicle gets penalized. That has been a problem with lawsuits. That's where the issue comes in, and I have great concerns about that, and I think it needs to be thoroughly researched before you go any further with it. Thank you.
Rhonda Bagby. I have some issues concerning those cameras as well. I think it is really a stupid idea. It has been approached by previous councils and mayors, and Craig, your dad was one of them. When they were approached, they did not want it. They said, no, absolutely not. It's a wrong idea. And if we need to get a petition signed, we can go ahead and get people of the city, get their names, and we don't need these people that sign the petition questioned by any council person. Why are you signing it? It's called freedom of speech. And second off, the other thing I wanted to bring up is over the weekend, they had this horrible sewer smell on Generis, on Hickory. I don't know how the people in the fire department stood that smell. It was awful. If y'all can do something about it, something needs to be done. Thank you.
Is it still there? Have you noticed?
It comes and goes.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Bowler. I live on Glenwood Avenue in Harahan, and I really came to speak on the Mike Yinney resignation ordinance that y'all have, and I never really thought that it would be the least controversial thing to be asking for the resignation of the parish president, but that's where we are today. I also I urge you to go ahead and do that. I'm also participating in the recall effort. I do have the petition with me, and if y'all have any questions, I welcome them. But I just wanted to let you know I was here and would be willing to accept your signatures if you're so inclined. Thanks.
Dwayne Mara, 570 Colonial Club Drive, Planning and Zoning Commissioner here in Harahan. I just want to come out tonight, basically speak on our behalf as the board. We are aware for the Reams that we are aware of what's going on with this ordinance. We had this back in May. We had a long discussion with a room basically this size, if not with more people in it. I guess the biggest thing is we tried as a team, along with the council, myself, try to get together with Woods and really go see a site-on visit to really see what's going on back there. Of course, I did witness, some things that aren't in our Section 133 and things that are basically up to code, I guess, for what they're telling us is up to code. I'd just like to know now specifically what's really going on back there. Because all these statements that we have from the residents, we are once again in the dark. I don't know what's going on. I don't hear from the Woods at all anymore. No disrespect to council and mayor. I don't know if they have any feedback, but we're not hearing on our end for planning and zoning. I see that tonight it was supposed to be up, according to this, it was supposed to be voted on. It says it was referred to planning and zoning in September. We never received anything. So I don't know what's going on as far as the city clerical thing, but that's definitely not happening on our end.
It was too late to get on October meeting.
Okay, so that's what it was. So we're not voting on it tonight, correct? Okay. I guess, I just really think now, once again, this ordinance, it's reworded. I don't know what kind of clout it's going to have. This is my opinion. I don't know if we can actually completely do 133-15 in a different ordinance and try to get something with some good clout to really stop what's actually going on back there, if that's what has to happen. I'd like to know, though, what are we doing to police them in any way, shape, or form to stop whatever they saying that's going on? We got photos, we got evidence, video, whatever it is. What are we doing? What are we doing to even stop this company from breaking the law for us? So,
I motion for 2 more minutes.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Wheeler for 3 more minutes. All in favor?
Yay.
Any
Thank you.
opposed? We have 5 yeas, 3 nays.
Thank you.
Wait, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Please continue.
Thank you. I don't know what we can do. I don't know if there's any way we can tax them differently for all the millions of dollars that they make in as a big biggest company in Harahan, for the little bit of taxes they pay in us. I don't know if we can do something to restructure that. I don't know if we can tax the dump trucks that are coming in, each individual one, to pay specifically if they just, in Harahan, they pay a fee, something that we can just generate a little bit of money out of this mess. I know it's up for November. I know we're going to have a lot of people in the audience that night. I just like to get some feedback from you guys to talk with us before that meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I would love to set up a meeting with you.
Okay?
I believe you have my phone number.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have everybody's
And
numbers.
I'd love to talk to you either tomorrow or Monday.
Okay.
So if you probably work, I'm happy to meet.
Yeah, that's
after
fine. I
hours.
mean, after hours or specifically time frame, if I schedule it, it'd be fine.
And
And just,
anyone else who wants to.
yeah,
come with you.
and just real quick, Mr. Donnelly, I know you're in the audience. Whatever you got to do to get them to at least come to the board, not at the before, and I'd like to discuss some other stuff, because, something needs to be done. All right? Thank you. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you for volunteering
So
also.
will this ordinance be on planning and zoning for November 2nd?
Yeah.
And then would we be able to vote on November 10th?
Well, they have to report it out. They have to do something. The last time they got it, they didn't do anything.
So if on November 2nd, hypothetically, they approved it, we can then go ahead and vote
Then
on
you can
November
consider
10th?
But they have to report
But
it out.
that's,
if they're committed.
that would have to be added to the agenda, and we could
Right.
do that at the November 3rd meeting if,
Sorry, Mr.
when's the,
November
Yeah,
2nd is planning and zoning.
Yeah,
We're
one of
meeting
those.
on the
Trying
3rd
to
and the
look up the
10th
email
for
right
your
now.
request.
Consider it on the 10th.
so, can I alter the agenda for the November special city council meeting?
it up from the floor?
We can bring it up from the floor.
Bring it
Okay.
up bring it up at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Dale Seminole, 140 McHugh.
Hi, Mr. Semino.
Hi, St. Rita Parish would like to invite everyone to the St. Rita Pecan Festival coming up the second weekend in November. Friday, November the 11th, Saturday, November 12th, and Sunday, November 13th. As always, there's going to be activities for all ages to enjoy. The music lineup for this year is Friday night, the band is Cheese Whiz. Saturday night, the band is Top Cats. Sunday night, the band is Cowboy Mouth. For Saints and LSU fans, there will be a big Jumbotron TV to view the LSU and Saints football games that weekend. There will be a live auction after the Saints game, and this is always a popular event. A lot of good items, baskets, and items that will be auctioned. There will be, again, a full slate of amusement rides for the kids. And again, there will be a food booth with food offerings of all types, and always enjoyable is a spaghetti dinner. Again, that will be served on Sunday. The Pecan Festival Committee would like to thank everyone who volunteers year-round to make the Pecan Festival possible, and those that work that weekend, and also the businesses and individuals who support and sponsor the Pecan Festival. And we also want to give, the committee would like to give a final thank you to the officers of the Harahan Police Department, who are always there on duty the whole weekend to make it a safe family event, and also the fire department that's available on a very short notice for emergencies. So we'll see you at the Pecan Festival. Come out and have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Semino.
Dan the Sandman, not feeling the love in here for truck drivers today. And I'm not a power speaker like these people, and I don't have all the facts and figures about wood. I'm just here to talk about, excuse my voice, the family, the Wood family. For 42 years, I've been hauling from Wood. I know them real well. I'm just here speaking on their behalf, as the family is a good family. They run their business very well. They were hardworking, honest, good people. And again, I understand these people's problems with, if I lived there, maybe I'd have a problem with the trucks running. And I don't work at night. That's the airport job. Anyway, I was thinking of the things that Harahan benefits by having a company like that in there, but I'm not that educated on it. But I know I spent $10,000 this last year on gasoline, buying tires in Harahan, frequenting restaurants in Harahan, getting my truck repaired in Harahan. All that's tax dollars. I don't know how much comes to Harahan, but I just wanted to say, just this week alone, or this month alone, they've donated expensive materials donated to the Ninth Ward projects, the Marigny projects, gave the materials. I hauled it, and they gave it away. After Katrina, I called on several companies. I worked in relief work. Wood was always there, donating anything I wanted to free, and I hauled it because I worked for months with J&W Tree Service and Harahan, everybody. So they were always compliant, helpful with me to do that. And like I said, it's a hard act to follow from all this information, but I just say the Wood families are respectable, and I just think somehow you guys could work it out with them. I know when I have a problem, they work it out with me, but I don't know all the details about the permits. I worked for the Corps. I worked for the levy district in years past. The materials came from Wood. A lot of the materials came from Wood on the levy project right now. So anyway, I just wanted to, in their behalf, it's great people, and I understand the complaints. Thanks.
Thank you.
Robert Johnson, 6735 Riverside. I passed out to y'all the results of a traffic survey that was done on Riverside Drive by Jefferson Parish. This was done during the week of May 16th through the 20th. The daily average count in front of my house, this is Riverside between Bailey and Haralene's, is 1,941 cars per day. It's about 1,100 in one direction, 700 in the other direction. Sort of indicates that we get a lot of people that really don't live here because the amounts are not the same, and they're going west, and that's where the biggest volume of traffic is, and they come from River Road and they go out there and then cut up somewhere to Jefferson Highway. But anyway, this illustrates the problem that we have with speed. We have over 10% of the traffic that goes greater than 10 miles over the speed limit, greater than 30 miles an hour. That's 225 vehicles each day. 5% go more than 15 miles over the speed limit, 97 vehicles a day. And 2.6% double the speed limit or better. They're over 20 miles per hour greater. Now, and that's 50 cars a day that are going greater than 40 miles an hour. I put also on here, this didn't come from the parish, but I put the stopping distance. And the stopping distance, if you're going 40 miles an hour, is 119 feet. I hope that child is not 116 feet away because he just got hit. That's not what we want. We need to do something. Now, some have raised concerns that a photo enforcement lawsuit could expose the city to liability. Those concerns are not valid. Harahan can be protected against the cost of defense of a lawsuit and any damage award by including in its contract a requirement that the camera firm release and indemnify the city. Such release and indemnification clauses are typical for municipal contracts. You ought to have it if you're hiring a plumber. But certainly, this is one contract that it definitely ought to be in there. But there is an exposure to lawsuits because you are now on notice of the problem of the rampant disregard of traffic laws. Doing nothing, failing to take action, will expose the city to liability. You must act.
We will now address the council. Approval of the minutes.
Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on September 22nd.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Benton, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays, motion passes.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on September 22nd.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Benton, all in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Did you vote? Okay, thank you.
Communications. The Board of Adjustments and Appeals did not meet in September, and accepting the October 10th minutes of the Planning and Zoning Board.
We also had a meeting on October 5th also.
4th.
4th? Was it?
I think it was the 4th. Was it the 4th?
Miss Judy, what was the date? October 5th?
It's
or
the 4th, ma'am. I have it in your packet.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay. Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Resolutions. The following resolution was offered unanimously by the Council of the City of Harahan. It's proposed resolution number 2016-14. Whereas any rural community within the state of Louisiana may apply individually for the local government assistance program, and whereas cooperation is required between all government offices, namely the mayor, city council, state representative, and state senator, and whereas based on a Louisiana legislative appropriations, the city of Harahan can apply for a funding grant from the state of Louisiana Local Government Assistance Program. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Harahan, with the approval and consent of the mayor as a governing body for the City of Harahan, that a local government assistance packet is submitted to the state of Louisiana for the purchase and installation of a replacement submersible sewage pump and motor. Be it further resolved that the City of Harahan requests State Representative Kirk Talbot and State Senator Daniel Martini support this grant request on behalf of the City of Harahan in the form of a letter to the Local Government Assistance Office indicating their support. Wherefore, the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Harahan specifically lobby Representative Kirk Talbot and Senator Daniel Martini for their support in this grant application. And wherefore, the Council of the City of Harahan votes to approve the application of the City of Harahan for a local government assistance program grant as filed by the Mayor of the City of Harahan to the state of Louisiana for a grant for the purchase of a spare dry pit submersible pump and motor to be stored at the wastewater treatment plant for immediate use as needed. And wherefore the Council of the City of Harahan specifically requests the Mayor of the City of Harahan to apply for the Local Government Assistance Program grant for the Sewage Department of the City of Harahan in the amount of $20,500 from the Local Government Assistance Program. And wherefore the Council of the City of Harahan requests that the Mayor of the City of Harahan apply for this local government assistance to improve a deteriorating sewage system and to improve the quality of life for the citizens of Harahan. And wherefore, with the addition of the spare pump and motor, potential for negative environmental impact is vastly decreased. The foregoing resolution having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to open a public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Anyone who would like to speak on the resolution? If no one is here to speak upon the resolution, we will now close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion.
If there's no discussion, then can we proceed with do I have a motion to proceed with the vote to
Motion.
approve the resolution? I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution passes.
Nay.
All right.
Can we, we're going to take a 3-minute break. Thank you.
Thank you.
The council meeting is now resuming. Madam Clerk, proposed
Alrighty.
resolution number 2016-15.
All righty, this resolution was offered unanimously by the council, the City of Harahan. Whereas any rural community within the state of Louisiana may apply individually for the local government assistance program, and whereas cooperation is required between all government offices, namely the mayor, city council, state representative, and state senator, and whereas based on the Louisiana legislative appropriations, the City of Harahan can apply for a funding grant from the state of Louisiana Local Government Assistance Program. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Harahan with the approval and consent of the mayor as the governing body of the City of Harahan that a local government assistance packet is submitted to the state of Louisiana for the purchase of computer equipment, and plotter equipment suitable for storing 600 gigabytes of data. Be it further resolved that the City of Harahan requests State Representative and Kirk Talbot and State Senator Daniel Martini support this grant request on behalf of the City of Harahan in the form of a letter to the local government assistance office indicating their support. Wherefore, the mayor and the City Council of the City of Harahan specifically lobby Representative Kirk Talbot and Senator Daniel Martini for their support in this grant application. And wherefore, the Council of the City of Harahan votes to approve the application of the City of Harahan for a local government assistance program grant as filed by the mayor of the City of Harahan to the state of Louisiana for a grant for the purchase of computer equipment, and plotter equipment suitable for storing 600 gigabytes of data. And wherefore, the Council of the City of Harahan specifically requests the Mayor of the City of Harahan to apply for the Local Government Assistance Program grant for the Sewage Department of the City of Harahan in the amount of $29,500 from the Local Government Assistance Program. And wherefore, the Council of the City of Harahan requests that the Mayor of the City of Harahan apply for this local government assistance to repair and rehabilitate much of the sewage system and to allow the city to maintain a database of information concerning current conditions of the sewer lines, date of the most recent inspection or repair, physical location of each house connection, and manage future programmed improvements. And wherefore this project will preserve and maintain the integrity of the data for future use and benefit of the entire city. The foregoing resolution having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Do I have a motion to open to public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Anybody who would like to come and speak to the resolution, please come up. If there's no one who wants to come and speak to the resolution, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
No discussion.
If there's no council discussion, can I have a motion to proceed with a vote to
Motion.
approve the resolution? I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution is approved. Thank you very
Alrighty.
much.
The following resolution was offered by Councilman Johnston. Proposed resolution number 2016-16, whereas the City of Harahan is a municipal corporation and political subdivision of the state of Louisiana within the parish of Jefferson, and whereas the City of Harahan and Jefferson Parish are mutually charged with the legal obligation to protect the health, welfare, and safety of Harahan's citizens. Whereas Parish President Michael S. Yinney has acknowledged certain acts that have caused the citizens of Jefferson Parish and citizens of the City of Harahan concern about his ability to effectively govern as the parish president. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Harahan, Louisiana, acting as governing authority of said city, and on behalf of all the citizens of the City of Harahan, that the City of Harahan does hereby formally request that Jefferson Parish President Michael S. Yinney resign his elected position as Jefferson Parish President immediately. The foregoing resolution having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Do I have a motion to open a public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay. Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Anyone who would like to come and speak to the resolution, we invite you to come up. If there's no one who wants to speak to the resolution, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Council's discussion. If there is no discussion, do I have a motion to proceed with the vote to approve the resolution? I have a motion by Councilman Wheeler, seconded by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution passes.
That was just for the motion, huh? Then you got actually called.
That was the vote.
Oh, okay.
I know, it goes, I'm sorry
no
if I
problem.
went too.
Ordinances for approval.
It was going to be me, yay, anyway.
The following ordinance was offered unanimously by the Council of the City of Harahan. Proposed ordinance number 2016-14. An ordinance to sell and/or auction property owned by the municipality of the City of Harahan, providing for the procedure to be utilized pursuant to the provisions of LRS 334712, which provides for the sale, exchange, or lease of property by a municipality.
Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Public hearing is now open. Would anyone like to come and speak? If we have no one who wants to come and speak to this ordinance, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Council discussion.
I have one question. Linda, this might be directed for you. So I see that they're broken down in different departments that's being sold, like maintenance, fire, police, recreation. The funds from this auction will go into those departments as capital? Did you see this?
Yeah, actually, I just saw it today.
Oh.
I don't know, should it go
What?
capital or
That's
should
what I
it
was just
go
wondering
into
if-
the
Like-
general fund in the departments?
I mean, I know it's only a I don't know if this is adoption.
No, this is a down.
Yeah, I just, it's up, you can tell me.
I would think capital, put into their line items, I don't know.
Okay.
It'd be
It's capital stuff that we're
capital.
selling.
mostly, I mean, except for the chairs.
But is it capital for each department? Like if police items are sold at $10,000,
Right.
is 10,000 gonna go into the capital for the police? Or is it the general capital and then it's reallocated out if needed?
The way
What's that?
the way the capital project fund is listed out, it would be the miscellaneous revenue for the individual line departments underneath the capital account. We would have to track it like on the side in Excel, though, to make sure, because this is happening in 2016, it's almost over.
Right,
To make sure that the departments can use that revenue for themselves in 17. We'll have to track it on the side. That is a good idea.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any further council discussion? No? Do I have a motion to proceed with the vote to approve the ordinance?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Benton, seconded by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance passes.
All right, the following ordinance was proposed, what's that? The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston.
You asked a
And-
motion to vote.
Wait, did I
You
not?
didn't take the vote.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
what-
oh, I'm
And that's
sorry.
what I think you did on the
last
other
time.
one I questioned
Oh.
about.
I don't think she did
Yeah.
on that. I
Okay,
don't
so
think
let's
you need a
just
motion
read.
to go to the-
Do I have a
move to the vote.
motion to approve the ordinance,
I don't think we need a motion. Do we need a motion to approve the
proceed with the
ordinance?
vote to approve the ordinance? Yeah. Yes, to adopt the ordinance. I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Benton. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? 5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance passes.
The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman, who would like to second
I'll
this? It's
second.
a Batcher, Hewitt. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 1333, section 15, relative to the zoning classification NU non-urban Badger District, Harahan Municipal Code 1990, Appendix A, by adding thereto a new subsection governing the hours of operation of commercial enterprises therein, and to otherwise provide with respect thereto.
This ordinance was referred to the Planning and Zoning Board on September 22nd. However, it has not
Right.
gone to them yet. It goes to them on November.
And I plan to defer, but don't we have to open it up for public hearing since it was on the agenda?
No.
No.
I put that on, I suggested to Nicole that she put it on there as a placeholder.
Okay.
Just so that you don't lose track of it.
Okay.
But technically, it's left you right now, and it's gone to planning and zoning.
Right.
So there's nothing that you need to do.
So I don't have to defer or anything, it just, okay.
Okay, so it just comes up at the next regular city council meeting, correct? Okay.
And the reason I put it on as a placeholder is so that you can keep track of it and ask, have we received yet a report from planning and zoning?
All righty, the following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman Hewitt. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 1806, being the annual budget of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2016, by decreasing appropriations to capital expenditures by the amount of $1,000 and by increasing the appropriation to budget code 0104-112-40320 relative to police department uniforms and accessories for the specific purpose of the purchase of 2 bulletproof vests and to otherwise provide with respect thereto.
Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. It is now open to public hearing if anyone would like to come and speak to this ordinance. If there's no one here to speak to this ordinance, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay. Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
No discussion.
If there's no discussion, can I have a motion to proceed to vote to approve the
Motion.
ordinance? I have a motion by Councilman Wheeler, seconded by Councilman Johnson. All in favor to approve the ordinance?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is approved.
Make sure I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, we're at the stop sign, yep. All right. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman, this is stop sign, Bodier. An ordinance to place stop signs on Oak Avenue at the corners of Columbus Street. Yeah, at the corners of Columbus Street, Oak and Columbus.
Do I have a motion to open a public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by
Second.
Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay. Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Anybody who would like to come and speak to this ordinance, please step up. If there's no one who would like to speak to this ordinance, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Benton. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Council discussion may now proceed.
I'll just say that on this, it was a citizen came to me, who lived on Oak. He had a petition signed, which is attached to it. They have a problem with speeding right there by Columbus, which is right where the Knights Columbus Hall is. They have a stop sign probably about 2 blocks before, and they don't have a stop sign the rest of the way. Coming from the other way, that's an even further away stop sign. People gain speed up, and they're worried about kids getting hurt and et cetera like that.
Do I have a motion to proceed with the vote to approve the ordinance?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor to approve the ordinance?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is passed.
Another stop sign.
Ordinances for introduction.
All righty. The following ordinance was proposed unanimously by the council. It's an ordinance approving the re-subdivision of 401 Oak Avenue, lots 1, 2, and 3, Square J, Harahan City Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Dating Marquez and Associates LLC, dated September 19th, 2012.
I just wanted to state that the planning and zoning minutes reflect that this was recommended for approval for subdivision, so when it comes up for a vote, that we have let everyone know.
The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier.
Ms. Judy, it was unanimous. Sorry.
The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier and seconded by we don't need a second yet, we're just reading, sorry. Proposed ordinance number 2016-19, an ordinance to amend the Harahan Municipal Code by adding to Chapter 2, Article 1, a new section to be designated Section 2-6, establishing a convenience fee of 2.49% for payment of city charges by electronic means, and a new section to be designated Section 2-7, establishing a $2 technical fee upon all permits, licenses, and charges imposed by the City of Harahan Authority for payment of city charges. And the following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Hewitt. It's proposed ordinance number 2016-20, An ordinance as amended of the Harahan City Council amending Chapter 50, Motor Vehicles and Traffic of the Harahan Municipal Code by adding Article 4, Electronic Enforcement, Speed Limit Enforcement, Sections 50 to 100 through 50 to 106 to provide for the enforcement of certain traffic signal violations by automated means and provide for the civil penalties for traffic signal violations enforced by automated means.
Old business?
No old business.
New business?
No new business.
We will now have address the council, if anyone would like to come up and address the council. We have 3 minutes, and if you give me just a moment to get my little timer on. Thank you, Mr. Means.
Laurie Dominguez, 953 Oak Avenue. Again, in regard to the proposed ordinance with the speeding cameras, instead of putting up speeding cameras, what about stop signs at periodic places along River Road? That will slow traffic. It's going to create more traffic in that, it's going to slow down the pattern. But to me, that would be much more economical and feasible. Again, with that, you're going to get the people that should be gotten. I didn't say that properly, but.
We understood.
We understood.
So I would like to offer that up as just a suggestion
Thank
for
you.
thought.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm up here again, obviously, because of the speeding cameras. And everything that I've heard so far focuses on this horrible terror of lawsuits, which, as I said earlier, I received in an email. Let me be very, very clear. Contracts can contain what's called an indemnification of hold harmless clause. You can force whatever company you work with, and there's multiple companies, to cover any attorney's fees, any damages, any punitive damages. They pay that. Harahan doesn't. Nobody here pays for that. They do. We don't. Also, in that same contract, you can require. Oh, did I already hit 2 minutes or something?
No, sir. Please continue.
That was pretty quick.
Because I have it doing it on my phone, something.
Fair enough. Also, in that same contract, you can put every possible provision that you want to protect us. For example, I heard earlier, well, it only takes a picture of the license plate. So buy the other system. Get the one that captures the face. It's that simple. It's not hard. This is not rocket science. You can shift the liability to the company while at the same time fulfilling dotting the I's and crossing the T's that are required under the law, which Gilbert Burris has already reviewed. He knows how to do this. I just chatted with him about it. I do contracts for a living. I promise. In every one of my contracts, there's an indemnification of hold harmless clause. And they have teeth. It covers Harahan or me or whoever with absolute protections that will even be far and away beyond anything that probably anybody here could think of. Gilbert's dealt with it before. He's seen the examples. I have certainly drafted the examples. I offered to pay for the electricity for this thing. Put it by my house. I'll cover the line. I promise. I'll help you write it. I donate my services to help you draft this indemnification hold harmless clause. I will give you the time. I do this for a living, folks. And I promise, there's no way that lawsuits should be the fear that stops you from doing what's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cindy Gifford, I live in Ferrara. No, I didn't grow up here, so I don't really understand society down here. I'm going to be the first to apologize for it. We all pick where we live. We all have kids. I don't, thank God. But I did grow up as one. I lived on a busy street. The speed limit was actually 30 on the street I grew up on. Didn't take the dump trucks 120 feet to stop. No, I don't have them. It only took me probably 20 feet to stop at 70 miles an hour on I-10 the other day. You know, keep track of your kids. Keep them in the yard. You don't like where you live by the levee? You know what? There's other houses for sale. We all have a burden to bear. We all pay taxes. We can't come into a police state, which is what we want to create and what society is creating. So if you want to put cameras up, you're going to end up putting them in one place, and they're going to another place and another. And we're going to be like Chicago and New Orleans and all those other cities that eventually do have a lawsuit, and they're not indemnified against everything. And then you talk about revenue, but we send this money out of state to pay the fines. We don't keep it in state because that's not where the company is. So just think about it before you do it.
Thank you.
Robert Johnson, 6735 Riverside. To conclude, city officials are now on notice of the problem regarding rampant disregard of traffic laws. Doing nothing, failing to take action will expose the city to liability. The city must take action to enforce its laws and protect its citizens. The city can divert funds from other accounts and hire more police. That's one thing they can do. They can install speed humps. They can make every intersection a three-way stop, or the city can contract for photo enforcement of its traffic laws. The choice is up to the city, but the city must act. There's some people that seem afraid of electronic measures. I doubt that there are many residences who hire a security guard to keep their house safe. Many people do have an electronic alarm at their house, at their car, and the chief will encourage you to use those electronic means. The chief even uses electronic radar guns for his police to detect speeders. So let's not be afraid of electronic measures. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tommy Buddy, 7208 Stoneleigh Drive. Readdressing the same issue as before, which is the speeding situation, however it's resolved. First, I want to thank each of you for your service. Nobody up here is doing it for the wrong reasons. Y'all certainly aren't doing it for the money. Everybody here is underpaid, and I mean that sincerely. And I know everybody's going to do what they think is best. So I want to thank you for that. And y'all get a lot of grief, and I'm sorry for that. And if you're not getting it from me, you're getting it from somebody else. So thank you for what you do. You know, the normal way that we address these issues, and there is a petition here now for putting up a stop sign. Every time I turn around in the streets between River Road and Jefferson Highway and other parts of Harahan, there's another stop sign. And we're doing it to slow people down. Now, this Riverside Drive wrapping around Colonial Jefferson Highway is probably the second longest continuous street in Harahan. I would think Hickory being the longest. And as I drive down Hickory, I'm confronted with at least 3 red lights and about 7 stop signs. And that's there to control the traffic, to keep the speed down. Otherwise, people will be doing 70 miles an hour down Hickory. So again, there may be other alternatives. Maybe we'll put up 12 stop signs on Riverside Drive, which will affect those citizens who are happy to do 20 miles an hour. They'll just have to stop 6 or 5 or 7 times. Why don't we think about making this difficult for anybody who wants to speed, putting the burden on them, and make it easy for the residents who are happy to do the speed limit on a residential street in a residential neighborhood. So may I ask you guys again, I'd like to see you pass this ordinance. I know it's just up for a reading tonight. If you've got a better fix, one as quick, we'd love to hear it. We haven't heard any alternatives. I'm open to alternatives. I don't think there's a better alternative. There are other alternatives. I'd not like to see 5 stop signs or 6 stop signs or 7 stop signs on Riverside Drive and Colonial to go from Power Line Drive to Jefferson Highway. I think speed cameras puts the burden on those people who speed, doesn't negatively affect the people who are more than happy to do the speed limit, and will greatly reduce the speeding problem, punish the speeders, and generate revenue. Again, I want to thank everybody for what you do, and I'd like you to appreciate it. And one 30 seconds more, if I may. I'd like to ask the council members, and I know it's too early to commit, but I'd like to ask you folks, as you close out with your comments tonight, to address this request. What's your thoughts at this point in time regarding this speeding camera request that's up for reading? Thank you.
We will now address the council.
Secretary's report for September. Total revenues, $345,299.98.
Reports, Chief Walker.
Thank you. Good evening. Mayor, Council, viewing public. Stats for the Harahan Police Department for the month of September. We had 707 calls for service. We had non-accidents that were handled. We issued 60 citations for 103 charges. We had 8 patrol requests. There were 15 narcotics arrests. Number of narcotic charges, 18. There were 7 felony arrests, 2 misdemeanors, non-city. Number of other arrests was 79. Other charges, 157. Non-felony, 107 misdemeanor, 18 city, 23 traffic. We had 2 residential burglaries, 1 attempt burglary, and 11 larceny thefts, and 6 assaults. Also, again, I want to thank everybody for their participation this past Tuesday night at Night Out Against Crime. We have a sponsor board in front of the police station. Please frequent those sponsors. They did a lot to assist us in putting on that event. Everything was donated. Also, this coming Friday night, there's going to be a lane change with Jefferson Highway and Palawan Drive. They're getting ready to put the asphalt down on that cement. It should be a minor adjustment. It's not going to be anything major at this time, but they will be making a change sometime Friday night. Also, as Darlene mentioned earlier, the drug take-back program Saturday. It's any unwanted drugs, whether they're legal, illegal, whatever. If you have them at your house, get them out, bring them to us. We turn them into DEA, and they properly destroy them. Last year, I think we picked up over 400 pounds. Halloween night. We will have Halloween night back in Imperial Woods again. Our reserve department will cover the streets from Brighton to West Imperial, on Dosha to Stoneleigh. They'll have 2 officers at each intersection, and we're renting porta potties again this year at our expense. Also, with the kids that are out, if you can put some identification on these young children, cell phone number, a name, that's the biggest thing we seem to encounter is lost children. If there's some identification, some of these children are so small they don't know phone numbers or who they really are, it's something that can identify them that we can help return them to their parents. That should do it. Thank you. Good night.
Chiefs?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. No.
Okay.
You said that'll do it, and I just started going
Okay.
to the next thing. Chief.
I did not have a report tonight. I'll be happy to report.
Thank you very much, Chief. Councilman Hewitt?
Happy Halloween to everyone, and I just wanted to reiterate, Mr. Buddy, as you know, I'm fully supporting the speed enforcement cameras. I've spearheaded this with Chief Walker. I've been reaching out to Mr. Charlie Buckles. He's with Red Flex, a company out of Lafayette, Louisiana, and we've done a lot of homework behind this. We've been talking about it for 9 months, and so we have the speed assessment, we have background information, and I've reached out to Mr. Burris, who's also assisting with the draft of the ordinance. So I'm in full support of keeping the city safe and assisting our police department, and if we can earmark this money to go to our first responders, I'm all for it.
Councilman Johnson?
I just wanted to remind everybody, just like Mr. Dale brought up earlier, that St. Rita Pecan Fest is coming up, 11th, 12th, 13th. Come out, have fun, food, drinks, all the rides, whatever you want. Also, they're going to be having a KC spaghetti dinner served that Sunday of the Pecan Fest in the cafeteria. That's starting at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday, November 13th. As far as, yes, to my input on the speed cameras, I think it's a muddy situation right now because I don't think we have true jurisdiction over River Road. State owns part of it. Jefferson Parish runs another part. I think we'd have to work with Jefferson Parish to see what they're willing to let us do. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that that's It's Jefferson Parish, starting at Hickory, I believe. It turns to Jefferson Parish. They maintain it. Other than that, I try and stay with whatever the neighborhood wants. If I do, I'm not committing either way, but if I do approve or vote for this, it would just be a specific area. It wouldn't be the whole city. It would just be tailored just for y'all because y'all are having an issue. I'm not a fan of cameras, but like I said, I try to focus on each neighborhood individually, not as the whole city, so.
Councilman Bodier?
I was on the council when cameras came up the last time, and it was met with great dismay. A lot of people didn't want it. A lot of people came out in the city that didn't want it. And I gotta tell you, there was a minute that, I was at odds with Councilman Hewitt, and I didn't want it. And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I actually had to get on the phone and call the mayor and let her know that a car, and she'll tell you, they had come by me at literally light speed down River Road. And I'm like, Mayor, I really didn't realize, and I was actually on the way to go drive to see the dust cloud at the sand pit, because I like to try to check on it every now and then, which is, it's terrible, don't get me wrong. And so, again, I'm with Councilman Johnson on this one. If I am gonna be for it, it'll be, specific to River Road. I do think you guys have I have a problem on my street. It's always my neighbors, but I have a problem on my street. But I gotta tell you, this person came past me at a rate of speed that was so unbelievable. He had to be doing 60 to 70 miles an hour. I mean, I couldn't even get a license plate or nothing, and it spurred me up. And everybody knows that me and the mayor, we can be at odds sometimes. And for me to pick up the phone and call her and go, Mayor, we got to do something about this. It's terrible. and she agreed, and we've been talking about it quite some time now. And so we're gonna kick it around for the next month. And again, I will be designated specific to where it goes. I don't want them all over the city. I actually don't like them. Don't really care for them. But if the neighbors think that they should have them, I'm gonna be with my neighbors. As far as the sand pit and all goes, I gotta tell you, me and the planning and zoning chairman, Dwayne Mara, went back there, and we spent a good bit of time with them. And man, we were promised a whole bunch of stuff that has never come to happen with these people. I want to be. I'm always pro-business. I'm 100% pro-business, but I'm even more about being a good neighbor, and that's what we do here. And I just don't feel like they're being good neighbors. The road hasn't been done. I mean, if they got the money to do whatever they want to do, which seems to be the way they should be able to have the wherewithal to become good neighbors, and they're bringing this on themselves. I remember when the Reams would come here and very quietly walk up to the podium and say, hey, please, can we do something about the sand? That was it. You know what? Now they done stirred up an anthill, and now they got to deal with these Reams. And let me tell you, as much as we talk to them, I guarantee you they're hearing for them 10 times more. I don't want to be on the other side of that one. But I would just, as a city, I want to let you know, I know all of us council people and mayor as well, we're trying to bust butt to get things done. And they're in such a predicament there, just like you guys on River Road, jurisdiction and all of these things come involved. I don't know, some days I think it's a sad day, but we'll always keep our heads up and push forward, and we'll try to make it right. But we all working, but it's just always so bureaucratically tied up in some kind of nightmare. So, I mean, and I've always been about less government my whole life, because government, I think, always is the problem. So, thank you.
Mayor, can I add something if you don't mind? It'll be short. I'm trying to figure out a way how we educate the public of the the speed study that we did, because it was not just on one street. So it was several thoroughfares in the city. And I guess I could call Mr. Buckles with Red Flex and along with the chief and ask him to come back down again to meet with all of you guys if you have the time to come, so he can educate you on the speed cameras and maybe review the study. And I'm not sure that we would only want to do this in one street. So I just want to make that clear to everyone that we're not just because people on Riverside are concerned about speeding that we're going to put it there. I think it should be something that the chief, the mayor, the council, we look at as citywide. We've done a study. Where are the problems? It's certainly not just on Riverside Drive. So I will reach out to Charlie Buckles with Red Flex. I will set something up for everyone. It seems as if this will go on November 10th, if that becomes our regular meeting.
Yeah, real quick. Again, wishing everybody a happy Halloween. Mr. Tommy, I also had conversations with Charlie Buckles with Red Flex, and I was just getting ready to reiterate. I want to say, I think he told me there were 7 locations that they had set up these testing. I believe Colonial Club was one, Riverside.
Hickory.
There was, don't quote me, but I think there were 7 spots that they did. I will be fully supporting Councilman Hewitt on this ordinance. Thank you.
Councilman Benton?
I've lived in Harahan for over 25 years, and speeding has always been an issue. And I live on a busy street myself. I live on Colonial, which is, Riverside turns into Colonial. And it is a problem. I am concerned about our children and our residents. I have taken it upon myself to squirt people with the hose when I'm out in my yard and they fly by in front of my house. I know it is a problem. But I'm concerned about the cameras because of the litigation. I didn't say that I was afraid in my email. I'm concerned. I know that Gretna just in March filed for class action status in their lawsuit, the citizens of Gretna. And so, my question is, if it's so easily indemnified, how have so many municipalities been sued? So I have concerns. I'm not an attorney. I didn't open the attachment. I didn't even realize there was an attachment, but I'm known to not read my emails completely, I'll admit it. So I'm just,
She's so honest.
I'm not thrilled about the camera thing, but I do admit we have a problem, and I would like to meet with the chief and talk to him and see what his thoughts are on maybe possibly other alternatives. And that's all I can tell you. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to just thank everyone for attending tonight. Remind everyone it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a special month that I hold dear in my heart as being a cancer nurse my entire life, and being honored with taking care of that population. This disease affects men and women, so that's why I said I would like to make sure that our residents get their exams, see their doctors, and mostly women, get their mammograms. So to be vigilant and to be safe. I want to wish everybody a very happy Halloween, and very thrilled that this year we're much farther along in the budget process than we've ever been before. And I am looking forward to the goal of the city of Harahan passing a budget before the December deadline so that we will just start really rocking and rolling, so to speak. Pay bills.
All right, total bills paid in September, $417,148.68.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Wheeler,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. We are adjourned. Thank you.